What's up, guys? We're about a week out from UFC St. Louis, which is the first event of 2018, and it looks like a pretty solid card in my opinion. There's some big names on it. The main card features the final fight of Vitor Belfort's career and also the comeback fights of PVZ and Dooho Choi, so I'm pretty excited. I'm going to keep this video short and sweet, so without any further ado, let's get right into these main card predictions. For the first fight on the main card, we have number 10 ranked welterweight Kamaru Usman versus Emil Meek. And this was a fight that pretty much took forever to come together because Emil had a lot of visa issues and things like that. But now that it's finally happening, I have to say that I think Emil's out of his league here. He's only had one UFC fight, while Kamaru won the Ultimate Fighter, and he's had a lot of success in the UFC so far. I definitely don't think that Kamaru lives up to all the hype he gets. He was calling out Colby Covington and Darren Till, and I think both of those guys would end his career. But in this particular matchup, I think he wins. Kamaru has pretty good striking, but his best weapon is his grappling and wrestling, and I think if he starts losing on the feet, he's just going to be able to nullify Emil's striking with his wrestling. So I'm going to say that my prediction is Kamaru by decision. I think he could win by knockout or TKO because Emil has been knocked out a couple times before, but I just happen to think it's more likely that it's going to go to decision, and that decision will favor Kamaru. For the next fight, we have 12-gauge Paige VanZant versus Jessica Rose Clark. I actually like this matchup. Some people were complaining that why this is on the main card, but I think it's fine. I think it'll be a good fight. However, Paige was originally supposed to fight Jessica I in her comeback, and I would have rather seen that, but I'll take this any day. Both of these girls had their last wins against Bec Rawlings, and Paige obviously did that in a much more impressive fashion. Jessica's main strength that she had over Bec Rawlings was her ability to bully her around in the clinch and in grappling situations. I don't think Jessica has any grappling advantage over Paige, though. I think Paige is going to be better on the ground and better in the clinch, and I also think Paige has an advantage with her striking. Jessica got hurt in the third round of her fight with Bec, and I personally think Bec could have finished it there. So for this fight, I'm going to have to say that Paige wins by a third round knockout. I think she's going to be able to get it done. I definitely think Paige is going to win, but I personally think it's going to be by knockout. For the co-main event, we have Uriah Hall versus Vitor Belfort. And yes, this is Vitor's retirement fight. Well, he's saying it is. I mean, these guys never really retire. They always keep coming back. But I think this is probably one of the worst opponents he could have chosen to fight, for his retirement fight at least, if he wanted to retire on a win, which I'm assuming he did, because Vitor, he is not the same fighter that he used to be. Obviously, he's old now, and I think his chin has gotten so much worse, so I have no idea why he wanted to fight Uriah, who is an extremely well-versed striker. I don't really have that much to say about this. I think Uriah is going to be able to end it in the first round. I have to say, I mean, we all know Uriah has those weird mental blockages where he doesn't perform like he's supposed to, but I do not see how he could lose to Vitor. So I have to say Uriah by first round knockout. That's really all I have to say about this one. And finally, for the main event, we have Jeremy Stephens versus Dooho Choi. Now this is going to be a really good fight. I see this fight staying on the feet. I think these guys are just going to stand and throw leather. I think we're going to have another Fight of the Year contender already in January, so I'm really hyped for this. In terms of who's going to win, though, I think Jeremy is on the downward slope, while Dooho obviously is going up. He's still a young guy. He's been saying he wants to get a title shot before he has to do his mandatory Korean military service. I don't know if that's going to happen, but a win over Jeremy Stephens will definitely put him in the right position for that. In this matchup, I think that Dooho is definitely the more technical striker. He's more accurate and he lands more. Jeremy did have a pretty good win over Gilbert Melendez in his last fight, but I think he was getting hit way too easily. He pretty much took out Gilbert's leg early in that fight, and Gilbert was still landing good shots on him all throughout the rounds. So I think this Dooho is definitely going to be able to land shots on him. I think he's going to do a lot more damage than Jeremy does to him. This is a 5-round fight between two strikers, which makes me really want to say it ends in a knockout, but Jeremy has not been knocked out in a very, very long time. So I'm kind of torn between saying Dooho by knockout and Dooho by decision. Right now, at this very moment, I'm kind of leaning more towards decision, but I definitely think Dooho is going to win by outstriking Jeremy Stephens. So I'm just going to say my prediction is Dooho by decision. That's going to be it for this video, guys. I also have an MMA 2017 highlights video that you should watch for sure. Other than that, that's all I have to say. Thanks for watching. See you next time.